to know who would like to create more visibility and credibility without spending a fortune. Would that be a good thing? Raise your hands. All right, thank you. And who would like more exposure in the marketplace? And I only mean the good kind. You know what I'm saying? Now, one of the things today you'll see about me is I like to engage in your energy. And why would I do that? Can anyone guess? Why would I like energy in the crowd? I'm talking about media. Let me give you a hint. Why would I want that? Who wants to say? Why would I want that? Oh, I thought I saw your hand up. She's just fixing her hair. Why would I want that? Please. Well, yes, and here's the truth. Every time you talk to a media person, you know what it is? Who's ever been in theater? Anyone ever been in theater? What do you have to do before you get a part? Audition. Absolutely. So getting media is also about auditioning. It's about creating energy. And the truth about the media is they make decisions about you based on who you are, your energy, and what they think about you. So what I want to do in this next period of time is help you understand how to use guerrilla publicity tips, how to really expand your message, and how to get yourself out in the marketplace without spending a fortune.
Yes.
All right. Now, my friend P.T. Barnum, if he were alive today, he said it best, and that is, a terrible thing happens without publicity. What?
Nothing.
Nothing, absolutely. So here's what I want to teach you. Oh, this is me when I was 8. And first of all, ain't that a sucky picture? I mean, like, it's bordering on child porno, but that's another story. What is that angle? Why I share that picture with you is that little girl up there, she was incredibly shy. Anybody feel a little bit shy? Oh, come on, raise your hands. I know you're out there. Some of you are so shy you won't raise your hands, will you? The truth about all of us as human beings is we have fear sometimes. And of course, public speaking is one of them. But one thing I've learned over the years is being shy like that, so shy that sometimes I really couldn't even talk to people, so shy that I was scared to talk to people, and frankly didn't know what to say if I did. And what I learned about that is it wasn't really serving me because God gave me a gift, and that is the ability to translate people's messages, to help people get their message out. I have an innate way in understanding how to do that. And so what I learned is that wasn't working. And what I did was, frankly, invested in myself like you are here today, and took my time, my energy, my money, my resources, and took courses with great mentors, and trained myself at Toastmasters. Who's my Toastmaster girl? Where are you? Oh, there you are, right in the back, Lydia, of course. And Myrna, wasn't Myrna here? Yes, thank you. There you are, thank you. And really train, and Toastmasters is a great place to do that. So I really believe strongly you have to not only stay in the game, it's one of those a little bit fake until you make it, okay? So I just want to reassure you that everything is possible. Now I'm going to skip over this because I want to talk about a really important word, and that is message. And well, I'm from California. I don't know if Vince told you that. I actually live in San Francisco, and we have things called mantras out there. So I'd like to give you a mantra today, and I'm going to walk around a little bit because I'm more a wanderer. Is that okay with everyone? Sure. All right, thank you. Here's your new mantra today. It's all about my message. Could you say that with me, please? It's all about my message. Thank you. Now, those of you who have notes, write down the word message, and those of you who don't have notes, grab some paper because you might want it. Write down the word message, please. And would you circle the first 2 letters? What do the first 2 letters spell? Who knows? Me. Isn't that interesting? And circle the last 4 letters, please. What do the last 4 letters spell?
Sage.
Sage. And would you say those 2 together, please?
Sage.
Sage. Wow. Now, who feels a little shy? I know you're back here probably, right? Right? Who feels a little bit shy? Come on, raise your hands again. Thank you. I appreciate you acknowledging that. Message. Me, Sage. I think when I saw that, I have to tell you, it just took away fear. And you know what else is interesting? It's always about coming new to what you do. Coming new to what you do. So I've been teaching this for a long time, and I've worked with thousands of people in my programs. And I'm going to tell you, one day I looked about 1.5 years ago at this word message, and I saw me, Sage. Now that was powerful. It's always looking newly at everything you do. And I'd like to know who's an expert in this room. Raise your hand if you're an expert in the room. Lydia, go girl, your hand goes up first. I want to see other hands up in the front row. Come on. Absolutely, and behind you, absolutely, thank you. We are all experts, right? We are all experts. The question is, in what? Now, experts solve what? Problems, absolutely. Experts solve problems. So my question for you today is, what is the problem out there? Did I ask you, how do you say your name? Mariuxe? Wow, that's a great name. Did I ask you what you do? No. And Max, did I ask you what you do? No, absolutely. What I'm always interested in is what's the problem out there. So one thing you want to do is you want to use statistics. Reporters love statistics. You know why? Because that way they can use what you know in the marketplace, because what they're concerned about is people reading the Fort Lauderdale Sentinel, right? Isn't that the paper? Sun Sentinel. They're concerned about who's reading USA Today. They're concerned about when you're watching the news, when you're listening on radio. That's what they care about. They don't care, no offense, about what you do, what you're selling, what your products and services are, and if what you have means anything to you. What you got to communicate is and write these two keywords down: value and benefit to others. Value and benefit to others. Today I'm giving you very complicated PR terms, advice, thousands of dollars of advice, but you notice I'm putting it in very simple language, right? And one thing I want you to start doing is using what I call 5-year-old language. How old are you? 5, absolutely. I want you to use 5-year-old language. Keep things really simple. So one of the things you want to do is you want to say, the problem today, and here's your key phrase, write this down, this is a winner, I love this one. The problem today is. The problem today is. Fill in the blank on that. So, for instance, if I'm being interviewed on guerrilla publicity, I would say, the problem today is 4 out of 5 businesses will go out of business because they have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune. Then, if I'm an expert and you're an expert, who's an expert in the room? Raise your hand. I want to see you all the way in the back of the room. Who's an expert? Thank you. If you're an expert and you solve problems, you have what? What's the opposite of problems? Solutions, absolutely. So I would say, now, one thing I want to just make clear before I tell you the answer, everything's a script. Why is it a script? Because when you're being interviewed, and most interviews will go for 3.5 to 5 minutes, that's it. Here's the good news. Anyone can sound smart for 3.5 to 5 minutes. Isn't that the truth? So one thing I feel very strong about, when the media says, can you talk about this, what you gonna say? Yes. Can I hear a big yes?
Yes.
Yes, of course I will. And then, you can shake in your boots later, but I remember the largest Catholic radio station, this is about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, asked me, hey Jill, could you talk about, they asked me to talk about Super Bowl advertising. I'm like, sure, yes, I can do that, Well, my friends, I have 3 problems with this. Number 1, I'm not Catholic. Number 2, I know nothing about the Super Bowl. And number 3, I'm not an expert in advertising. What am I an expert in? Publicity, absolutely. So when the largest Catholic, did I say 40,000 listeners? Yes. When the largest Catholic radio station said, hey Jill, can you talk about Super Bowl advertising? What'd I say?
Yes.
Yes. And, then I started praying. I figured that would cover the Catholic part. I think it worked, because that was a great 45-minute interview, which is a really long time. So it's about replicatable systems. One thing I'm really big about in my courses in publicity and when I train people and consult one-to-one, it's really important to get focused on your message. It's really key to do that first. When you have your message, then you have a script, then we're able to, and here are keywords, replicate and duplicate. So I'm big on teaching replicatable and duplicatable systems that you can use anywhere, anyone, anytime. And I'm going to tell you something, this problem solution piece that I'm about to share with you, the formula in my script, and as I'm sharing with you, I want you to think about what's your formula for you. One of the women who took my webinar, which I will tell you about at the end if I may, and she said to me after the first session, she came back, we did this problem solution piece. She said, I want you to know I went to a networking event, something like this. I used the problem solution. So this isn't just about media, this is about networking. This is about having highly effective pieces of information that you're sharing with people, valuable, helpful, and always giving two key words. What are they? Value and benefit. Thank you. And she said, you know, I used the problem solution piece that we are going to replicate, and I want you to know I closed the client at the event. She said, not only has that never happened to me, but normally I feel like a deer in headlights. And you know, part of that is taking away how you can, well, let me just say it another way, how you can increase your confidence and accelerate your messaging is knowing what to say and having something to say. And that usually focuses on this, which is, begins with a P, what is it? Problem, and then defining what? Solution, absolutely. So I'm gonna share the rest of mine. The problem today is 4 to 5 businesses will go out of business because they have no clue how to create publicity without spending a fortune. I want to give you 3 guerrilla publicity tips today for how to get your message in the marketplace. The first way to get noticed is to create your, you ready for this? Highly technical term. Are you ready? Can I have like a drum roll, please? Come on, drum roll, please. Come on your laps, Thank you. Create your ooh-ah factor. The second way is to create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. And the third way is to focus on networking magic and show up in your communities at least twice a month, like you're doing today, for name and face recognition. Now, what did I do in my message? Who wants to take a guess? What did I do in my message? What did I do? What did I do?
Created value and benefit.
Thank you. Thank you. I created value and benefit. I actually told you some real things to do, right? Thank you. I appreciate that. What else did I do? Who knows the word soundbite? Soundbite? I want you to know that word. This is a very important PR word. I actually gave you sound bites. I said to create your ooh-ah factor, right? I talked about creating the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome, yes? And then I told you to focus on networking magic and show up in your communities twice a month for name and face recognition. What else did I do? Who's my marketers in the room? I made myself available, absolutely. Did you notice anything from a marketing perspective? What's your name, Gary?
Yeah, you promoted yourself.
How did I promote myself, Gary?
By telling them what you do.
Actually, I didn't exactly tell them what I did, but I did tell them something else. Can I share with you my secret? Here's what I did. Do you know what I did, Patricia? What I do?
Well, you provided with a smaller sample of what you do. So you
Yes.
promoted it and provided a sample.
Yes, I provided you a sample. I gave you sound bites. These are like Jillisms, things that I created. But more importantly than that, and this is what I want you to start doing, I got all of my products into my message. You want to see how? And do you notice, by the way, it was graceful. It didn't hit you over the head. I don't want to hit you over the head. But I did say, I'm going to give you 3 guerrilla publicity tips today. Oh gosh, that's one of my books, isn't it? Now, another one, and then I said, if you want to get noticed, now check it out, if you want to get noticed, right? Yes, and I told you what to do to get noticed. And my third tip was focus on what? What did you need to focus on? Networking magic, and show up in your communities at least how often? Who remembers? Thank you, twice a month. Now, here's what I want you to do. Who's my authors in the room? Perfect. Who has products in the room? Raise your hand if you have products. Great. Any authors, anybody with products, and anyone demonstrating anything, pay attention. I'm going to share something really cool with you. And that is, where am I holding my book?
Under the title.
At my face, yes. And I will hold it for what will seem like, for me, a ridiculous amount of time. You know why? Because I can tell I'm starting to get butterflies, get a little nervous. That's good. When you start feeling that and have to breathe a little harder, then you hold it some more. Now, why is that? Why? Because a couple things. Number one, people are still tuning in. You in the back row, who knows if you could even see it, right? Here's the other thing. I don't want you doing this, because what happens when you do that? Distracts the energy. I'm feeling dizzy too, aren't you? Right? And also, you don't want to bring it down here, because what happens then?
No one can see it.
No one can see it. It diminishes the energy, and not only that, but they're looking at the wrong place. You know what I mean? All right. So you always want to keep Some guys are going, no, that's the right place. No, you always want to keep your products high, and your whatever you're promoting at your face works really, really well and creates that visibility. The other thing is, I want you to start interweaving the names of your products, services, and your message into your primary message. And when I want you to start doing this? Now. You know, there's a home remodeler recently in my course in publicity, and he had heard me do this. And you know, right there at that event, you know what he started doing? His home remodeling agency is called Get It Done. And he said, you know, if you want to get it done, here are 3 things you can do to get it done right now. By the way, we repeated that twice. But that wasn't, you know, again, obnoxious, was it? You don't mind that, do you? It's kind of fun, isn't it? So find something fun, somewhat, if you notice I started doing ooh-ah factors, something that attracts attention and creates attention for you. That's what we want. This is your ooh-ah factor. You know, Kate Adamson is a wonderful woman. Actually, I'm going to tell you about instructional design instead. Let me tell you about Ryan. Ryan was one of these people, lovely people, sitting in a seminar one day, and he runs up to me at the back of the room. He says, I really want to work with you. I'm like, great, Ryan. What do you do? He told me that he was an instructional designer. Now, does anybody know what that is? Yeah, you're all going like this, because guess what? Neither did I. And when he told me what it was boring. I mean, it was boring. Now, remember, I told you I have a gift for translating people's messages, and I said, Brian, tell me your story. He told me that he had been downsized from a corporate job. I'm like, you mean fired? Yeah, he'd been fired. Can anyone relate to that? Downsized from a corporate job? Yep, it's going on all over the country. He told me that at that time he had a pregnant wife with their 3rd child on the way. And he had just bought a big house in Northern California. And now, this means one thing. Here's a guy who has, well, a big wife, a big mortgage payment, and no job. This isn't exactly what I would call a formula for success. You know what I'm saying? I said, Ryan, what'd you do? He said, well, I started my own company, and online, within 24 hours, I had 7 employees across the Bay Area doing instructional design. I thought, well, now that's interesting. So I did what every good PR consultant does, and I, well, made a new story up. See, you are the authors of your story. Let that one sink in, right? You are the authors of your own story. So your message can change, can shift, can focus on whatever's in the news, right? So, for instance, with Ryan, I remember looking at him and I had that what I call V8 moment, you know, just like, wow, I got the message, I got the message. I said, Ryan, you know what you are? You are a virtual office warrior. And write down the word vow, V-O-W, because Ryan took a vow never to work in an office again. Do you know that story got him into the front page of what would be your daily paper, the Sun Sentinel? That story got him into home office computing. And who's a home-based office expert? What that means is you work from your home, right? That story got him into Entrepreneur Magazine. Would that be good? Would you like to get into Entrepreneur Magazine? Absolutely. And that story got him into Mac Home Journal, another great national magazine. Ryan, I remember, looked at me and goes, Jill, I don't have a Mac. Does it matter? No. What matters is he has a great story. And write this down. It's about your story. And what's our new mantra from before? It's all about my message. Will you repeat that with me? It's all about my message. So finding the right message, and part of that is to use everything you've got. Use everything you've what? Yes, use everything you've got. And so let me share with you that Ryan, for continuity purposes, Ryan is Asian American. And although he doesn't speak a word of Chinese, we translated his articles into Chinese, put them into the Chinese Times, and leveraged what he's got, right? So sometimes you want to do everything, sometimes you're fitting into the media. For instance, a gentleman I work with, he's 74. I met him when he was maybe 73. And he told me that at the time, well, when he was 34 actually, the doctors told him he was going to die. He had a lot of illness, and the doctor said, you're out of here, you're going to die. He said, I don't think so. This guy at that time was going to MIT. He was a graduate student in chemistry, okay, very important to know. Graduate student in chemistry, 34 years old, doctor said, that's it, you have a pretty serious illness, basically 6 weeks. And at that time, he put all his chemistry knowledge to use. He created a supplement formula, which actually is loaded with vitamin C and very high-level natural products. Well, guess what? He saved his own life. And he was going to be a teacher, a professor, and all of a sudden, this guy finds himself in the supplement business because he realized that by saving his own life, he could also save others, right? And so he started a supplement company, and he's done very well over the years, and delivering great health to people. He's written 2 books, Never Be Fat Again and Never Be Sick Again. Great person, and frankly kind of lives in his own world. He's a chemist, scientist type. So sometimes people hire me just because I can see differently and translate differently than maybe how you're thinking. And so he's like, okay, make something out of that, right? And we started creating a message about, well, the economy. With the economy, people have stress problems, a little bit of health problems. Stress creates problems in health, and so on and so forth. And we were doing pretty good with that. And then Michael Jackson died. And Michael Jackson died, and who remembers, what the big news was about Michael Jackson's death? Who was related to that? The doctors, absolutely. So I call him up and I go, this is your moment in the sun. Because Michael Jackson died. And I hear this pause at the end of the phone, like a pause like he doesn't know what I'm talking about kind of pause. And he's like, who's Michael Jackson? Did I mention he lived in his own world? So I explained it to him, and the good news is he was featured. Now this is not a medical doctor, he's a PhD, but he was featured in multiple media talking about doctors. Why? Just because he had this experience. I want you to think about using everything you've got in your life. Who are you in your life? What messages do you have, and why are your messages key? I want to tell you about Julie, who took my course in person, and she imports olive oil and food products from France. Lovely woman. And in the course, we actually write documents, do 4 templates for your media. And she was writing a press release for food editors. Very appropriate, very perfect. And then I remember her looking up and she says, Jill, did I tell you? Now, I've been doing this for over 20 years, and here's what I noticed. When somebody says, Jill, did I tell you? I know something good is coming down the pike, right? She says, did I tell you that my daughter is an alcoholic? I'm like, well, no, you didn't tell me, but now that you did, I want to change your story. Because I remember looking around the room, and I could see the mouths dropping open. These are people who spent time with her, liked her. I could see them relating to her. And for me, it's about affecting people in the heart and the gut, right? That's where you want to get them. And when she said that story, she had people. Much more than the olive oil. And I said, well, no, you didn't tell me, but now that you did, I want to change your story to becoming the parent of a troubled teen. What do you do around that? Like, let me just ask in this room, who is a parent? Anybody's a parent? Raise your hand. Good. Keep your hands up if you've ever had problems with your children. Exactly. Sometimes hands way from the back, right? Because that's something you can relate to, isn't it? So changing Julie's story is actually what got her in mothers' magazines, women's magazines, and her daughter, when she recovered, and I'm happy to tell you she did, she got in teen magazines. And the 2 of them went on tour and started talking about this, right? Now this is something that Julie used to hold close to the chest. We all have those little secrets, right? Those close to the chest, I don't know if I want to share it. And I have a lot of people who tell me their secrets, only to find that that's the very thing that's going to take you forward. That's the very piece that's going to be powerful and going to impact people, because then people will start relating to you. Then they'll start buying your services, taking advantage of whatever you're offering, and feeling closer to you. And I think that's a real key, that as you look at your message, let's see what you can really use. And I will tell you, publicity recession-proofs your business. And what do I mean by that? Oh, I don't sneeze. What I mean by that is it's the most powerful client attraction and retention tool that brings profits to your pockets and prospects to your door, right? Think about that. Because I'm going to tell you, I have a client, he's also become a friend, many of you do, and he teaches people about sales. He had flown me down to work with him, and then we've become friends and colleagues, and all kinds of great things have happened. But here's what's interesting. He said, you know, Jill, I get PR, but some people don't necessarily understand it, and I want to just share with you something that happened for me. Because one of the things I coached him on is that he needed a book. He's got a lot of great knowledge, and I wanted him to have a book. And so he got proposals from writing consultants. Anyone a writing consultant or do anything with that in the room? Oh, good, you're going to love this story. Okay, so he got proposals from writing consultants, coaches who would help him with his book. He got 35 of them. He had no idea how to sift through them, except one had a USA Today article in it. Do you know who he spent $3,500 with? That one from USA Today. He said that's the power of publicity. It affects your bottom line and increases your revenues. And that writing consultant, because he got into USA Today, got the job. It's that simple. I want you to use everything you what? Got. Do it again. I want to hear it bigger. Use everything you what? Got. Thank you. So I want to show you where to go. That's me, 2008. January 2008, I actually had an accident. And I fractured both ankles in multiple places. Thank you, both at once. Now, as I like to say, I've always been a bit of an overachiever, but this was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So I spent the next close to 5 months in a wheelchair, next year physical therapy, and frankly, I miss the heels. You know what I mean, girls? So the truth about this is it taught me many lessons, but one of the things that was most powerful is there's nothing like an accident to, well, get you started on your dream. And one thing that I'm clear about is the power of the media. Everybody get the power of the media? Yeah. You got it. It's very powerful, which is why I've always loved it, because I know it's a very strong medium to get your big M. What's your M stand for? Message. To get your message heard. And so what happened was I decided I wanted to do a positive news show. And so I did. I started, once I could think, I started a show called Messages of Hope. And what I do is I interview people with great stories, people that have overcome things. You can actually see it on my website if you'd like. But one thing that I've learned, and of course being in publicity, is you have to drive eyeballs to your project, no matter what your project is, right? No matter what your project is. So one thing I did was I pitched the Marin Independent Journal, which is where I live in California. That's my local paper. And write this down. Become a celebrity in your own backyard. Become a celebrity in your own backyard. They should know your name in Fort Lauderdale, right? And so this is a great strategy for doing this, and I share this with you not only to share my personal story, but to also give you a really great teaching point, and that is, in using everything you what? God, thank you. Not only might it be, well, a next level in your career, but it also will help others, and additionally, you know, frankly, you'll see the impact and the power of publicity. So I went to my local media and I said, you know, this was like last year, right? I said, you know what the world needs now, right? What does it need? Hope. Absolutely. And she said, you know what, you're right. We do. We need hope. And so next thing I know, the Marin Independent Journal, this is the headline, but let me show you something else. Laura, yes. How long is this article?
2 pages.
2 pages, actually a page and a half, exactly. Kurt, what's happening at the top of this article? 1.5 pages. See this? Can you see it in the back? Okay. What's happening?
You're speaking.
I'm speaking.
Speaking.
Right. And what's your name? I'm sorry. Alex, what's in the middle of this? What's in the middle right there?
Your books?
Oh my gosh. Now, let me just ask you, Kurt and Alex, was I talking to them about my books or my speaking? No, I absolutely was not. I really want you all to get that. What was I talking to them about? Oh, a TV show. Absolutely. And Mickey, excuse me. Mickey, what am I doing right here? You can just read the caption. Oh, sorry. This one? No, this one. Okay. PR expert, inspirational speaker, her weekly seminar. Yes, so it says that I'm teaching my weekly seminar in Nevada, okay? 1.5 pages long. Now, I just want to know something. How much would this have cost me? Can anyone guess?
Thousands.
How much? Thousands. How many thousands? You're close. 40,000. Very good. $40,000 for this. How much did I pay?
Zero.
Nothing. Except, well, 2 fractured ankles, right? But nothing. Yes, plus more credibility, you bet. So that's the power of publicity. Now, I just want to ask you, does this have anything to do with what I do every day, how I might say, earn my daily bread? How I earn my daily bread is I teach courses in publicity. I speak for a living. I consult. But interestingly enough, in this article, what did they show? My books, my seminars, and my speaking. Oh my gosh, that's everything. Do you see about using everything you've what? Got. Use everything you've got. Now you're going to love this strategy. This is called the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome. The I've heard of you what? Somewhere. Absolutely. Here's how you do it. This is so great, and it's completely free. How much does it cost? Nothing. Zero. Okay, here's what you do. You write a 4-sentence announcement. This is not a press release, my friends. I gave you a handout on top 10 tips for writing a press release. Please look at that. It will very much help you and give you some good tips for what to do. But I will share with you that this strategy, what's great about it, it's very quick and easy to implement, simple and cost effective. Because it's what? Free. Absolutely. And so here's what you do. You write 4 sentences, and the first line is all about you. Whatever you want to announce. It could be a new product, a new service. It could be a new person working with you. It could be an office, a new office where you have a new location. It could be a new product line. Whatever works for you, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to do 4 sentences. First one is the actual announcement, and the last 3 are actually really your bio. Your bio. Everybody know what I mean when I say your bio? Do I see nods out there? Okay, good. It's your bio. So, for instance, I have to tell you, when Get Notice came out, we got the contract from McGraw-Hill in February 2007. The book wasn't due out for another 18 months. Welcome to the publishing world. Most books don't come out for 18 to 24 months. That's really the truth. So my announcement went like this. Jill announces the contract for her 3rd book, Get Notice, Get Referrals, due out. Notice the due out. That's called future pacing. Write that word down, future pacing. Due out in June 2008. Jill is the best author of the bestsellers Guerrilla Publicity and Networking Magic. She teaches crash courses in publicity across the nation and helps entrepreneurs of all sizes to get their word out and increase visibility in the marketplace. That's it. Now that's not everything about me, but that's the announcement that got sent out then. And then when June 2008 came along, what I do? I sent out another what? Announcement. Absolutely. Now, I want to hear from you. I want to help you right now. Right when? Now. Thank you. I always say better me than Oprah, and plus she's going off, well, she's not going off there, but she's going off the Oprah show, just to new empires, right? But I'd like to help you right now to find your message and make it work. And what I want to do is I want some volunteers, that's the word, unless I pick you. I want some volunteers who are going to come up here with me, and I'm going to welcome you. I see Myrna, I see Gary's hand, I see your hand. I'm going to take one from the back. I see the lovely woman there, and then let me see how far we get. Okay, Myrna, you're up first. Here's what I'm going to have you do. Who's second? You come up second, you go third. Okay, your hand was up. Gary, you're third. So, Myrna, we're going to stand over here just so we don't get totally in the way of this. And come on over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to welcome you to Jill and Friends. And those of you who have notes and started writing your message down, go ahead and bring them up. And I'm going to welcome you to Jill and Friends. You're going to say, thanks, Jill. You know, the problem today is, you're going to share the problem, you're going to go right into the solution. Are you ready? Myrna, welcome to Jill and Friends. You're on the air.
Thank you, Jill. And you know, today the problem is that many people are tired and they're thinking about,
Go ahead. I'll help you.
The problem today is that many people, they want to be successful, and they're using the same old methods, and they're not sure about what they're doing. So our strategy is...
So 3 things you can do. Always use you language. Can you hear me back there?
Yeah.
Always use you language. You can do. Them.
3 things that you can do today are
Perfect. Keep going.
recognize, be aware that you do have a problem. Awareness is the first solution. The second one is to take some action on what you want to do. Take action. And the third thing that you can do is to recognize that you are responsible for your own situation.
Perfect. Give her a hand because she has a Thank you. And who's after, what's your name? Althea. Who's after Althea? Gary, I think I called on you. Who's after Gary? I saw it. Did I see? And I saw you with the green shirt. Black. Why don't you come next after